Hi guys, so here's a simple video showing you how to repair any T3 cluster that has printed circuit damage. As you can see, we've already removed the one from this cluster, quite bad. We'll be using Cluster Master's repair kit. From the front, we have a tach on the right hand side. Okay, so our rev counter's on the right hand side with the gauges below. Digital clock in the middle, at the bottom, and our warning LEDs on top. Now when removing the PC board, you'll see this one hole has still got a blue cap fitted in it. We need to remove that cap for the kit to fit. Turn the cluster around. You can use a needle nose plier or a tweezer. We find a T25 Torx works very well. Just insert the Torx, press it into the cap, twist, pull, and there's the cap, and the hole is vacant. Also note, when removing the PC board, these two screws have to be removed. It's time to fit these back. Next thing you have to do is look at your buzzer section. Okay, your buzzer sits here. Alright, if you look carefully, you can see there's 6 pins there. Alright, so we know a buzzer is installed. So definitely this kit has a dynamic oil buzzer system. This cluster matches the Cluster Master model CMBDT. We've got the buzzer on the right hand side, HIJKLM, right? We've got the digital clock at the bottom, it's P on the left, Q on the right. Our gauges are here. Our heat gauge starts with A, B, C, C, D. Then we've got 4 pins for the tach. The extreme left is E, the next pin is blank, F, and then G. So the next step is to fit the kit starting with A. We've got our kit. Make sure CMBDT for petrol engine. There's 2 zip ties in the package, some instructions, and diagrams of all the different variations. Okay, in our case we'll be using this one here, CMBDT. Let's unwind the kit. Once unpacked, this just simplifies things. These are your gauges and your tach. This is your dash lights. This is P and Q for your digital clock. These are your warning LEDs. Notice our bright LED is clear, but it lights up blue. Okay, green would be indicator. And then these 6 wires here are for your oil buzzer. Once it's set out like this, you're ready to install. So A is here of the heat gauge. Okay, then B, C, C, D. So starting on the right, anti-clockwise. Then you go to E, leave 1 pin, okay, that's blank, F, and then G. It's easy to remember, so A, B, C, C, D, E, leave 1 pin, F, G. We normally place the kit in the center. Okay, we separate the tach wires now from the gauge wires, and let's start fitting. Please note the direction in which we run these wires. Okay, so starting with A, that's the one here on the extreme right. Okay, you'll have to use the nuts and washers that came out originally from these gauges. I've taken the time to sandpaper it just to clean that and the posts for better contact. Alright? Okay, this is just to put it into place. We'll neaten it out later. Okay, that's A. B. So it's A, B, C, C, D. Okay, the shorter of the two C's. So this one would go here. And notice the direction. All these wires are going back up, including this one. Okay. So that's C. This is the same wire. It's also C. This one would go this way to the right. Okay, and D runs back towards the other wires. And that's it. It doesn't have to be too tight. Next, we're going to fit EFG. So E is the one on the extreme left. Okay, the next pin we have to leave blank. After that, you go to F. So leave a blank, F, and then G. Now once that's done, make sure that once you harness your wires onto the tech, that you don't have this situation where your kit has tension and it can pull at your gauge wires. Okay, this can break eventually. So what we're going to do, we put the harness over the tech in such a way that even if I pull, cannot damage the gauge wires. Okay, so I think about these right. When I get the tension right here, all I do is I fold this wire over. After testing everything, we're going to use one of the zip ties around this rev counter. This harness cannot come loose again. And when the installation is done, then you can always neaten this out. Just put some tape around here as well, just to make the harness look neater. So we're done now with A, B, C, C, D, E, F, G. That completes the gauges, it completes the rev counter. Okay, the next one you do are these 6 wires here. Okay, this is H, I, J, K, L, M for your buzzer. It's H, I, J, K, L, and M. Turn the cluster around and neaten the wires now from this side. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll harness it down here, right next to the warning LEDs. insert your warning LEDs into those vacant slots. And now it's time to catch the slack in this gap here. Okay, the wire coming from the tack, bend it this way, bend it down here. You've got P and Q. This goes to the digital clock, so just rotate this side. Okay, let that stay there. And then catch the slack from this side in this gap. Okay, so all the holes are vacant. The screws can go in without damaging any of the wiring. The cover you removed earlier has to go back in. Okay, before we do that, let's just install our LEDs. Okay, from this side of the harness, the very first LED would go in here. Okay, once it's in, just turn it a quarter turn to the right. The next LED is the one with the most wires. That would go in the center section. Turn it a quarter turn to the right. These two LEDs are the exact same length. Okay, so one you'll push this way. Okay, to the digital clock in that direction. This is where the other one goes. Turn the cluster around. As per the diagram, P is on the left, Q is on the right. This is for your digital clock. So P goes in here. Install your final LED on the clock. Alright, now you can actually neaten out your wiring here. Again, catch the slack in this gap, so it will finish off neater. Make sure those holes are still clear. On this cluster there's a broken grommet here, but that's not too serious. Get your cover. Already looks much better. Let's fit the screw here. Okay, any wire sticking out can be pushed into this gap. Okay, the LEDs, this is how we neaten it out. Again, use this gap for the slack. And that's it. When we finish a cluster, we normally put some glue here. Put some glue here. Anyway, just to hold the wires nice and neat and safe onto the frame. Also, you can put some glue here. Next step, we can install the cable tie. Okay, so the cable tie is going around the rev counter, over the harness. Okay, and that would provide strain relief to protect the gauges, the gauge wires. That's it. Let's do that quickly. First cable tie installed, you can neaten it here. Let's make sure these are still looking good. And time to test. The kit has labels 1 to 14 on it. Please make sure it lines up 1 to 1, 14 to 14. So on the South African plugs, the South African upgrade of the white connector, this is the upgrade. It fits tighter and it's a little narrower. The numbers are written on top. On the white connector, that are in most other countries, the numbers are written here in front. Line it up. Plug in, and we're ready to test. So the digital clock is working. Ignition. So notice the heat gauge LED flashed for a couple of seconds and went off. That's correct. Oil light stays flashing. Okay, if it's got a buzzer board installed, the oil light will continue flashing. The charge light will stay on. And that's your brights. That's your indicators. And that's my dash lights. Okay, we test our gauges one at a time on the bench. Okay, so I'm switching over now to the fuel gauge. So the heat gauge should drop, fuel gauge should go up. The rev counter signals are all correct from the cluster kit. So that can be tested in the vehicle. But from all the tests we've done, this cluster is 100% working. This harness can be neatened. We can just use some electrical tape to neaten the harnesses, glue it. Any way you think it's untidy, you can always make it neater. So we've neatened the harness. All we've done is just retaped over any loose wires. There's no strain at all on the gauge wires. When I pull now, the tension is here and not on the gauge wires. I've just dropped some hot glue on these wires here. We normally paint this black when we're done with the repair. Okay, but you can always do that. One more test. So line up pin 1 to pin 1 of the connector. The clock should be on. Ignition. That light should stop flashing. Brights. Indicator. Dashboard lights. My heat gauge is going up. Switch over to fuel gauge. %100 working. Once you've tested everything working on your cluster, there's a second zip tie in the bag. That's to keep the cluster connector and the kit together. So you're going to fit this through there. Do not over tension this. Just enough to keep these two from falling apart. And do not put it over the voltage regulator. It should come over this side of the harness. And that's it. For more T3 solutions, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.